Good morning, students of class 9. Today we are going to cover the topic the counter reformism. Okay, we have discussed in previous video reformism, that it was the religious movement which started in 16th century in Europe against the bad practices and evil practices, corrupt practices of church. And we have discussed that why people were dissatisfied with the church, in which we have discussed that there were many problems, like the unable person became the members of church. They occupied the posts. Later on we discussed that nepotism and simony and paper of indulgence. Yes, so these were the problems at that time in church in Europe. Yes, and when people started protest against these practices, that was called the religious movement, as well as it can be said reformation, because after the protest church started change itself. Yes, now we are going to cover the topic the counter reformism. Counter reformism is the impact of reformism. Yes, the religious movement that was started, the protest that occurred in the Europe, everywhere, in all the countries of Europe. Yes, so the result was that the outcome of that religious movement reformism, the church began to reform, to change itself. Yes. So this was the impact of reformism, in which we will discuss that the church divided into two parts, the Catholic and Protestant. Catholic were the followers of traditional things, those who believed in established principles, customs, traditions. Yes, so they were called Catholic. And the Protestant, this group, in this group changed the mentality of the people of Christian religion. They, after the Renaissance, they started thinking scientifically, and many of the bad practices, evil practices that were continuing in those days before 16th century. Yes, so now they are thinking that these are the old things which had no meaning. Meaningless rituals were there, like we have discussed the paper of indulgence, which was sold by the church to the individuals, and people were buying those papers in by thinking that after writing all the sins over the paper, the God will forgive them. Yes, so these kind of practices were in the church, and the Protestant groups, they thought that it is not possible that only just accepting our mistakes, the God will forgive us. Suppose I have killed anyone and I have murdered anyone and I have accepted that yes, I have done this thing in the court, will the judge will forgive me? Never. In the same way, we can think that in the Protestant groups, the people started practicing those things which were scientifically proved. They were not following the superstitious practices. Yes, everything now they are practicing on the basis of their thinking, after judging each and everything whether it is right or wrong. Then they started practicing those things. So we have discussed that after the religious movement, the Christianity divided to two sects, one Catholic and one Protestant. Yes, we have discussed this. The far-reaching impact of Reformation was the Counter-Reformation, because the reputation of the Roman Catholic Church was totally destroyed, and to regain its reputation, the Catholic Church started such things which were earlier called the corrupt and evil practices in the church. Yes, like the posts of church were sold. After Reformation, under the impact of Counter-Reformation, now the church stopped selling those high posts of church. Strict rules and discipline part also being made for the monks and clergy of the church. Yes, because earlier they did not follow the duties, the religious order of Christianity. Yes, but now it has been made compulsory that if you are a monk or a clergy in the church, you have to follow certain rules, the code of religion of Christianity. So this was the Counter-Reformation. The third one, we can say that the paper of indulgence, which was sold, just we have discussed, it was prohibited forever. Now churches cannot take any single penny for any kind of rituals. Yes, and for the officials of church, for the priests, for the monks, many camps, we can say, many seminaries were held in which they were given the proper training, how to behave, how to conduct, yes, how to deal with the issues of Christianity. So this thing can also be set under the Counter-Reformation. And in this way we have completed that what changes came about as a result of Counter-Reformation. Yes, all the bad practices were kept aside. The church were set to lead a moral life, and the simony